Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So what I hear a lot is people are not losing weight and they're getting frustrated. And if you're one of those, there's a couple things that it could be. All right, first, the very first thing I would usually think of is that you're not getting enough fat. Now people think, well, I'm sticking with the macros and da-da-da-da, but it's not really about those macros. It's not really about calories. It's about eating when you're hungry and making sure that you're eating high fat. If you're on a ketogenic diet, it's a high fat diet. That's what it has to be. You don't just get to a certain stage or level and you think, well, now I can cut back the fat. No. If ketogenic doesn't teach you anything, the ketogenic state doesn't teach you anything, it's to teach you that eating fat is actually healthy than eating carbs or sugar. Because if you're not eating carbs and sugars, okay, that are turning into glycogen, which is the only other energy source out there, you have to be eating fats. That's the only other energy source you're going to be able to get. So if you cut back on eating your fats, you're going to cut back on your production of ketones. And you think, well, my body will just start burning off my fat. Not if it doesn't know it. Your body will actually convert back to utilizing sugar as an energy source, and your body will make its own sugar daily to survive. It'll just start shutting things down, all the necessary things. Your thinking will slow down, your metabolism will slow down, just your energy levels will drop because and you won't feel hungry, and you'll think, well, this has got to be ketosis, and it's not. You have to eat a high fat diet, and even when you're in ketosis, you're still eating a high-fat diet. When you're fat-adapted, you're still eating a high-fat diet, okay? You have to continuously eat this high-fat diet. There's a gentleman by the name of Stephen Finney. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's one of the pioneers. He's one of the big pushes for the ketogenic diet and the low-carb, high-fat diet. And he says on his website, straight up, if you want to maintain the ketogenic state, you have to eat a high-fat diet. Continue to eat a high-fat diet. There's all these companies out there that are trying to tell you, oh, you want to lever it back and you want to change the amount of fat you're taking in so that your body can actually utilize fat, and it's not true. Okay. The other reason I would say is that you're not getting enough sleep. Okay. You have to get those 8 hours of sleep. You have to get that restful feeling your body needs, and the time for your body to repair. When the body's at sleep, it's actually less stress on the body. There's less things the body has to do. So what it's going to do is it's actually going to repair itself. It's going to fix itself. It's going to burn off fat. You're in a fasting state. So that's when your body's going to actually burn off and utilize a lot of your own body fat, okay? So they say 7 to 8. I'm telling you 8 to 10. You got to try to get more sleep. You're saying, well, I got to do this, I got to do that. You got to get the sleep. If you don't get the sleep, the body is still going to be in this mode where it doesn't want to burn fat, okay? If you're trying to say, well, my body only needs 5 or 6 hours. Not true. Your body needs more sleep. You just have to give it that sleep. And when you start giving it that sleep, your body's going to respond positively for you. Okay? The thing I would tell people is maybe you're not getting enough water. You have to get enough water. You have to constantly drink water. If you aren't getting enough water in your body, your liver is not going to be processing the fat. It's going to stop and help the kidneys to dilute dirty water back through so they can get more bacteria and more issues out of your body, or the toxins out of your body through your urine. And you want to be able to give that extra water, because when you get on a ketogenic diet, you've lost all those carbohydrates, and those carbohydrates, they actually held water for you. And now you don't have that. So you're not going to retain that water. You're not going to have that extra water being held up inside you. So you have to actually drink a little bit more water than normal. Okay? So getting enough water in will help with everything. It'll help with all your digestive system, your muscles, your joints, your skin, everything. So constantly drink water. You want to get a lot more, probably at least half your body weight in ounces, at least. So, and drink a little bit more than that, I would say. So a 300-pound person is 150 ounces of water. 120 is a gallon, I believe. 128, something like that. So it's a lot of water. It's not just this eight ounces of water a day. That's a guide. That's just a guide. You want to make sure that you are peeing almost clear and that you're not peeing yellow. If you're peeing yellow, you're dehydrated. And it can take the body almost 30 days to get back to being hydrated because it'll take the body time to adapt to what water you're giving it. And instead of just peeing it straight out, it's going to start utilizing it in other places where it hadn't been utilizing it because it was in a dehydrated state. So keep yourself hydrated. You're going to keep the metabolism going. You're going to keep the fat burning process going. And water is the key. It really is. It's one of the biggest keys. The other thing I would usually say is inconsistency. It's a good one. Because if you are doing the ketogenic diet for 5 or 6 days and then you cheat on a day, and then you go back to doing the ketogenic diet for 5 or 6 days, and then you cheat on a day, what's going to happen is your body is going to go into storing those sugars. It's going to go back into utilizing glycogen. And it's going to take a few days for it to get back into ketosis. And even if you're still producing ketones, after that, it doesn't mean that your body is using those ketones. It still could be utilizing the sugar. It's just not, and then you're just going to be peeing those ketones out, okay? That's why on a ketogenic diet, there really isn't cheat days. You don't have that ability to do what you did on other diets where you can just say, oh, I only slipped up a little bit. But when you slip up on a ketogenic diet, it has really bad effects. It pushes you back. I'm telling you, people think, oh, it's just a couple hours. It'll push you back for a couple days. Okay? And so if it was worth it, yeah, go ahead and have that dinner, do whatever you did. But know that it's going to take you a few days, if not a week, to get back into ketosis, true ketosis, to where your body is actually utilizing ketones, breaking down fats, and working properly again. All right. So that one cheat, sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. It's actually up to you. It's your opinion. It's your call. The other thing I would say is sugars. People think that something that says it's sugar-free has to be sugar-free because it says so. Well, it's not. There's over 56 names of sugar out on the market, and the majority of them do not. Well, the majority of them actually act like sugar. They'll spike your blood sugar. They have the same effects as sugar. There's no reason to even skip the sugar if you're going to have that fake sugar instead. Because, for one, that fake sugar is going to taste like some sort of chemically made crap anyway. 9 out of 10 times it gives people a headache. It makes them feel weird. Turns them off of that food. Where if you just found the things that are not no sugar added, not even the sugar alcohols, and if you like that, then that's probably the best way to go. There's a few of them out there, and you've heard of them. Stevia, that's one of your fake sugars. Erythritol, that's another one of your fake sugars. Monk fruit, okay? These are the things that you want to kind of stick with because they're already proven not to spike your blood sugar. Now, you may be that exception, so if you take some of that stuff, you kind of want to figure out how you're going to test it to see if it actually spiked your blood sugar or not. Because if it does, then it has a possibility of knocking you out of ketosis and putting you back onto that glycogen kind of mentality again. And you don't want the body to get back on glycogen. You just don't. You want to keep it on ketones. And you want to keep it processing the fat for energy. You want to keep the inflammation out of your body. You want to keep the fat loss going. You want to keep the body healing itself. So stay away from the fake sugars unless you really know. Like I stay away from the maltitol, I stay away from sorbitol, I stay away from saccharin, I stay away from aspartame. But even though some of those are considered lower glycemic, or that they will not spike your blood sugar, they spike mine, and they may spike yours. So you check them through yourself, not what the glycemic index says, but how does your body react to that, okay? That's the best way to do it, and that's the best advice I can give you on that. The next thing would be carbs. How are you getting your carbs in? Okay, people think, well, if I eat these keto cookies, they only have so many carbs, and I'm allowed up to these many carbs a day. So if I go a little bit over, it's not going to matter. Well, it could matter. The reason people want you to be under 20 is a really strict version of the keto diet, and it keeps you in ketosis most of the time when you're under that 20. But you have to get those greens in. So if you're eating other carbs in other, products that make you feel like you're not dieting, well, those carbs will add up, and then you don't have any room for those greens. And then if you want to get those greens in, you get a big salad, and then those carbs start to add up. I guess they could say that a low carb is under 100, and some people like to stay under 50. For me, I've checked. Under 20 to actually 10 is probably my guide. That's where I'm at. Okay, I don't eat the fake carbs or the memory carbs, I call them. So that brings back those nice memories of the cookies and all this other stuff. So I stick with try to get my carbs through my greens, through my leafy green vegetables, through my crunchy cruciferous greens, stuff like that. That's me. You got to set your priorities. I like the vitamins, I like the salads, and I like getting my carbs through the leafy green vegetables because I know it's healthier than a coconut flour and almond flour or some other, some other keto product out on the market that says it's keto friendly, but yet it has 15 carbs. Oh, but then it has all these fiber carbs that you can deduct off of it. I kind of go by total carbs. I went through that stage, where I thought, okay, I'll deduct some of these other carbs, and it did not benefit me. All right, I did not really think that my body deducted those carbs, even though I guess some people say it's net carbs, but I go by total carbs. That's what I do. My total carbs are under 20 every day. Without fail, every day. And that's what I recommend. The other thing, stress. If you are stressing over this diet, if you're constantly going, oh, I got to keep track of my macros. How much was this? I can't figure out how much this was. How do I add this in? When am I going to get my next meal? How am I going to do this? How am I going to make food for the family that isn't keto? How am I going to tell my friends what keto is so they don't think I'm a nutcase for eating high fat? Or family members that are trying to, deter you from following this diet, because there are some out there. It's pretty awful to know that these people are almost sabotaging your diet, sort of. They just don't get it. They're, like, you go to lunch with somebody and they'll say, oh, but you could eat, you could do it this one time. No, it's eating carbohydrates is like, I don't know, it's like junk food to me. I don't see the point in eating a carbohydrate, and people thinking, oh, you got to have carbohydrates. No, you don't. You don't have to have them. It's not a necessity. You could literally go carb free for, I don't know, 10 days and see how it feels. See how your body reacts to it. I like the salads. I like the fiber. So I don't think I'll go carb free. I might go carb free for a day, but I always stay under that, 10 or 20 anyway. So my carbs are not an issue to me. The last thing I would say about why you might not be losing weight is time, okay? You're trying to rush things. You haven't been in ketosis for any amount of time, and you're frustrated because all you lost was those first couple pounds that first week. Now, that's something to get excited about, but you have to remember that those first couple pounds, it's not fat, it's water weight, because your body flushed out those carbohydrates, you burned them off, and they took 3.7 grams of water for each one as they left your body. So you got rid of all that water weight. So in the beginning, you lose a lot of weight, but then your body says, wait a minute, I just lost all that water. I'm going to go into some other crazy mode, and I'm going to not do anything for a while. And then that's when you're trying to switch it over. You're trying to go, okay, I'm trying to get my body off the dependency of being on sugars and carbs, and I'm trying to get it on the dependency of ketones and fat. And it takes the body a little while to actually want to do that. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a week. It doesn't happen in 2 weeks sometimes. It takes some time to get into ketosis. Now, a lot of people think, well, if I'm producing ketones, I'm in ketosis. Not necessarily. If you're producing ketones, it's a good step. It's a good sign. But your body has to be utilizing those ketones. You have to have that energy. You have to have, and it's not that fake energy. People can say, oh, I'm on this diet and I'm so excited. But that's not the energy that you'll feel when you're in ketosis. You'll feel it. Like there's no ups and downs. Like there's times when you can go to work and maybe you didn't eat when you first woke up. You went 8 hours at work or 9 or whatever, and you didn't feel any hunger pains at all. That's another good sign that you're in ketosis. It's another good sign that your body, when you're not feeding it, actually has some fat source, and it will, in emergency, start using your fat storage. So it's a good sign, but you still have to continue to eat fat, and you still have to eat. And like I mentioned in the last video about the intermittent fasting, don't rush the process. Okay, so many people are trying to rush into intermittent fasting. I told you to do it in steps. Try to skip a snacks, and then try to downsize your meals, and then try to go longer if you want. And some people have good success with it, okay? The number one way for you to know that your body is in ketosis and that you're actually doing something right besides doing the blood test and making sure that you actually are in ketosis and you are producing ketones is if you're losing weight, all right? If you're not losing weight, chances are you're not in ketosis. One of these things or multiple of these things that I mentioned is weighing on you, okay? So I get a lot of questions. What do I do? And it's a list of those 8, 9 things right there. And you have to kind of look at yourself and be honest with yourself and say, okay, am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? Am I being consistent on my water? Was there a day where I didn't drink enough water? Was there a day I didn't get enough sleep? Am I getting enough fats in? Am I stressing over this crap way too much? Yeah, probably. It's a lot of those things. It's not a perfect world. We don't get a perfect night's sleep every night. We don't get to drink our water right all the time. And naturally, we stress over things. And, we have other people in our life that stress us out. It's just what happens. But when you get all those things working together and you do it on a consistent basis and you do it for a long period of time, you're going to watch the weight just come right off. You're going to watch, and it's going to be so quick and so exciting and so, it's going to catch you off guard, all right? There's going to be people that are saying, hey, you look like you lost weight since the last time I saw you last week. And you'll be like, yeah, right. And then they'll say it again the next week. And you're like, yeah, right. And then they'll say it again the next week. And you're like, wait a minute. maybe there is some truth to this. So then you go back and you look at your picture. You'll say, let me take a picture. And you compare them side by side, and you're like, holy crap, I am losing weight. And you may not even notice it, but you are. Just stay consistent. Just continue to do those things that I mentioned, and you will start to lose weight. If you're not, it's got to be one of those things, okay? If you could think of something else that I might have missed, by all means, put it in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel and you do like my videos, please subscribe, please like, and if you want, please share. Please tell coworkers, please tell loved ones, please have them get their own account and watch all my videos. I love it when people watch all my videos and make comments and ask questions, and I can put the answers out there with them, because you may not be the only person with that question, but you may be the only person that asked. So maybe you ask, but maybe now 10 or 20 other people see that question like, oh, I wish I would have known that. Or I wish I would have asked that myself. So don't be afraid to ask. If you don't see the answer in all my videos, ask the question. I'll answer pretty quickly. I'm here for you guys. I have been. You guys are like my keto family. You guys are, I think about how to help you guys all the time. I think about just different ways to make your keto journey successful. Anyway, I'm going to end it right there. I've already drug it on too long, too much already. So I want to thank you, everybody, for watching. I'll see you again on the next video. Please subscribe, please like, please share. Thanks, guys.